think perhaps that's it. It always has been one of the remarkable features that international competition for so long has been.
At this point, the British royal family is comparable to the public programming channel for entertainment. With regard to the drama that has been going on, we are all aware of it. However, Princess Anne has gone beyond what is acceptable this time. Princess Anne shocked everyone by dropping another bomb that was the secret will of Queen Elizabeth II, and this changed everything. We all know that she despises the people who are currently in power, and just when everyone was feeling overwhelmed by their problems, Princess Anne dropped another bomb. What was it that caused everyone to lose their marbles after it happened? It is a well-known fact that Princess Anne was one of the most trusted trustees of Queen Elizabeth, and she was the person that the Queen Mother frequently turned to when she was looking for someone to confide in. That being said, what was it in the will that brought about such a radical shift in the positions held within the monarchy? In a nutshell, it contained particular directives that were intended for a particular member of the royal family. Therefore, who exactly is that specific individual, and what was it that they did for Queen Elizabeth that caused her to remember them even after she had passed away? Well, let's find out. Because we don't want to drag this out for too long, we will tell you who it was as soon as possible. Her name was Princess Catherine, and she was everyone's favorite. So at this point, you might be wondering exactly what was mentioned in the will that mentioned Catherine's name, and whether or not she was remembered for something positive, or whether or not it was something that the Queen Mother thought was disappointing. It is common knowledge that ever since Princess Catherine wed Prince William and became a member of the royal family, she has been treated with affection by everyone in her immediate environment. King Charles III acknowledged Prince William and her as the Prince and Princess of Wales because she was so good. The thing is that she is the one that the public has accepted and considered to be the only successor to Princess Diana. She was so good that she was recognized as the Prince and Princess of Wales. As Queen Elizabeth stood on the sidelines and watched all of this unfold, what was going through her mind at that moment? Before we go into detail about the contents of that will, we would like to let you know that there was a person who was extremely enraged throughout the entirety of this situation which was taking place. It comes as a complete surprise that the individual in question is none other than Queen Camilla, who succeeded the late Queen. We have already informed you in previous videos that the Queen has a very personal issue with the younger generation of royals, and as a result, whenever someone tries to divert attention away from her, she simply becomes very irritated. At Balmoral, Princess Anne disclosed this will, which caused a great deal of distress among the royal family, the majority of whom were the most senior members of the monarchy. Because there is an equal chance of Catherine being praised or insulted in that will, you might be wondering if Camilla is taking Catherine's side or if she is getting jealous. Since there are equal chances of both, you might be wondering. The revelation will take you by surprise, so don't worry about it. We will tell you that. In the meantime, stay with us until the very end. When it came to this will, the most significant concern that the royal family had was the question of why Anne was chosen to be the person who delivered it. This task could have been accomplished by a great number of other capable members of the monarchy. The answer is actually quite straightforward. Anne was the only member of the royal family who did not seek the spotlight, and Queen Elizabeth was aware of this fact. She was a very devoted member of the monarchy, and her relationship with her mother was very strong. Therefore, all of this just proves that she was the only natural choice for Queen Elizabeth, and that she was selected to be the conduit through which the late Queen's private thoughts were communicated. The summit at Balmoral was supposed to be a very quiet event. However, it is possible that Princess Anne was the one who came to the conclusion that the royal family would find themselves in a hopeless situation if they continued in their current state. It is likely that she believed that this was the ideal moment for them to sit down and listen to the direction of the most talented queen that England has ever seen. Therefore, will it bring about a change in the existing structure of the monarchy, and will it bring everyone to their senses? Not even time can tell. From the perspective of Princess Anne, all of this appears to be favorable. However, there is something that we need to bring to your attention. The problem with all of this is that some people are suggesting that Princess Anne's deep-seated animosity towards Camilla may be the driving force behind her decision to engage in all of this behavior. How come this hatred exists? Unbelievably, it is not just the fact that Queen Camilla enticed her brother King Charles and that the two of them had an affair that led to him divorcing his wife, Princess Diana. It is something else as well. In late 1970, Princess Anne had a romantic relationship with Camilla's ex-husband, Andrew Parker. However, in 1973, Andrew married Camilla. This is a significant fact that most people tend to forget, and it is the fact that Princess Anne had a romantic relationship with Andrew Parker. Despite the fact that they eventually parted ways, they continued to be close friends, and it is possible that Anne's actions are being influenced by these lingering feelings of love on her part. In the end, all of them became more mature, and by the time Camilla was married to Charles in 2005, Anne was already a very respected member of the royal family who performed all of her duties flawlessly and was one of the favorites of the late Queen. This is just an argument from one side of the population, but the other people think that this is all ridiculous because they all became more mature over time. It is a fact that Anne was acting very suspiciously, and on the day of the wedding she was actively ignoring and trying to avoid her new sister-in-law. These individuals believe that Anne changed. They also believe that Anne became more professional. However, it is a fact that Anne was acting very suspiciously. In that case, which segment of the population is correct? We are not going to drag this out any longer, and we are going to tell you right now which of the population is correct in their assertion that Princess Anne does not like Camilla, who is the Queen's daughter. On the occasion of a private dinner, Anne confronted Camilla and pointed out that she was not the Queen, but rather the Queen consort. This was a clear indication of the situation. For the people, this may appear to be a very insignificant matter. However, for them, it was a declaration of war. Anne made Camilla realize that she is not the successor of her mother. Rather, she is merely second in place of a traditional queen, and she will never be able to achieve the same level of success that her mother had. It is a well-known fact that Princess Anne is considered to be the rebel of the royal family. Since she does not acknowledge Camilla as the official queen, this indicates that a significant portion of the royal family does not go along with Camilla. There is nothing that Camilla can do because, at the end of the day, Anne is a true royal and Camilla is an outsider. Anne's opinion was made abundantly clear when she stated in one of her interviews that Camilla will never be a true queen. This statement shocked Camilla to her very core, but there is nothing that Camilla can do about it. This is the primary point of contention between these two ladies. Anne is of the opinion that Camilla will never be loved by the people of the United Kingdom in a way that is completely unconditional. This is not just Anne's opinion. There are a significant number of royal circles that are of the same opinion. The question is, what exactly took place at the Balmoral Summit, and what exactly was written in Catherine's will? In a nutshell, Queen Elizabeth desired for Catherine to assume the role that she had previously held. It was because the Queen of England had such a high level of confidence in her that she desired for the Princess of Wales to take over her role. To put it another way, she did not want her to assume the role of queen or anything like that, at least not for the time being. It was the late Queen's wish that Catherine would continue to play the role of the family's pillar of stability, just as she had done in her younger years. The fact that she was so disappointed in the fragility of the monarchy, particularly during the reign of King Charles, was demonstrated by the fact that Queen Elizabeth placed a great deal of trust in Catherine the Great. The primary issue is that Camilla's position within the British royal family has persistently been precarious throughout her entire life. Her marriage to Charles is the only thing that ties her title as queen to her, rather than her birthright, which is a very significant achievement in the realm of royalty. Camilla has put in a lot of effort and worked tirelessly to improve her public image by engaging in charitable work that focuses on issues such as domestic violence and literacy. However, the nightmares continue to haunt her. Regardless of how hard she tries, she must come to terms with the fact that she was the agent responsible for the dissolution of the lovely relationship that existed between Diana and Charles. It is only in the event that she accepts that and then moves on that she will be able to remove the tag of the other woman who was involved in that affair. It is only through this action that, however, the royal family is a different matter. That the tension between Princess Anne and Camilla will never be resolved in this manner is due to the fact that Anne respects the royal traditions that she has been following without fail. As a result, there is a snowball's chance in hell that a person like Anne will ever accept Camilla in the royal hierarchy. In a sense, these things are significant for Camilla because they serve as a reminder to her that there are still members of the family who do not accept her and who continue to place her in the category of an outsider. This serves as motivation for her to improve her behavior and earn their approval. It would have been much simpler for Camilla to handle the situation if she had continued to work on improving her image by acting in a positive and honest manner. However, she made the mistake of taking a shortcut, which resulted in her being immediately unsuccessful. Prince Harry was quick to mention this in his memoir, where he accused Camilla of using him to polish her public image. She attempted to use Prince Harry to build her reputation, but but Prince Harry was quick to mention this instance. Due to the fact that she was attempting to minimize her royal responsibilities, this quickly spread like wildfire, and the public began to despise her once more. On the other hand, we have Princess Catherine, who is a contemporary example of success within the royal family. Catherine Middleton, who would later become known as Princess Catherine, was born on January 9, 1982, in Reading, England. Her formal name was Catherine Middleton. Because she is the only member of the royal family to have been raised in a middle-class household, she is considered to be an odd job. This is a unique fact about her because it instilled in her the values of honesty and humility. Additionally, her parents Michael and Carol were kind of successful in their business of party pieces, which allowed them to provide Catherine and her family with a comfortable and supportive life. She was pretty good at both academics and physical activities like sports, and as a result, she ended up attending very prestigious institutions like Marlborough College. Later on, she went on to study art history at St. Andrews University, which is located in Scotland. While she was in St. Andrews in the year 2001, she was finally given the opportunity to meet the man of her dreams, Prince William, who she considered to be her Prince Charming. This was the ideal setting for them to develop feelings for one another. Although this resulted in the creation of the ideal backstory for individuals, it is not as if their love story was flawless. They were dealing with a lot of issues, which ultimately led to their dissolution in 2004. After they had been together for a while, they came to the conclusion that there was no one more suitable for them than each other, and as a result, they decided to get engaged in November of 2010. Subsequently, on April 29, 2011, they celebrated their wedding with a large-scale ceremony at Westminster Abbey. Within a short period of time after she was given the position of Duchess of Cambridge, she quickly became the most popular member of the British royal family among the general public. She was an advocate for children's rights, early childhood development, and addiction, and she had a natural charm. She championed causes such as mental health, and she was particularly active in advocating for these causes. As a result of her exceptional abilities, she had already established the Center for Early Childhood by the year 2021, thereby demonstrating to everyone how dedicated she was to achieving long-term objectives. She utilized all of the resources that were available to her, including but not limited to the support of individuals such as Prince William and Prince Harry. By utilizing these resources, she was able to triumph over the majority of the stereotypes that are associated with mental health, and she was even able to bring attention to the significance of overcoming this stigma. It is surprising that someone as young as she was in her life was able to comprehend that the future of England was primarily dependent on the younger generation. As a result, she desired to establish a young and stable foundation for the future. Due to the fact that she is able to successfully balance her royal life, her responsibilities as a wife, and her responsibilities as a mother, she is regarded as a superwoman. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louise are her 3 children, and she is a proud mother to all of them. Even though she has all of them, she is able to maintain a balance that is so impeccable that her parenting skills ought to be taught in schools. She never fails to make public appearances on a regular basis, during which she engages in interactions with children, and the fact that she exudes an atmosphere that is both warm and trustworthy makes her the ideal candidate for the position of queen. All of this was taking place when she was still merely the Duchess of Cambridge, but then the tragic news that Queen Elizabeth II had passed away in September of 2022 came to light. This marked the beginning of a great deal of conflict within the royal family, some of which may not have been for the best cause. The only positive thing that occurred was the promotion of William and Catherine. But after Camilla was crowned queen, people have no choice but to compare Catherine and Camilla due to the fact that they are so dissimilar to one another, despite the fact that neither of them comes from a royal family. They have decided to go in 3 entirely different directions. On the one hand, there is Catherine, who has completely adjusted to her new life, and on the other hand, there is Camilla, who has not yet overcome her desire to be the center of attention. People don't just leave Catherine alone, that's for sure. They go so far as to accuse her of never having to deal with any problems and say that this is the reason why she has been such a good royal. But obviously, this is not the case. She has been through a lot of difficulties and challenges that would be enough to kill regular people. During the month of January in the year 2024, for instance, the palace announced that Catherine required stomach surgery. This wasn't a major cause for concern, and they didn't think it was a serious issue. However, the most recent test result showed that she was suffering from cancer. Due to the fact that this was the first time she had witnessed how the public pressure operates when under stress, it made things even more difficult for her. Almost immediately, she made the decision to adjust her stance and declared that she intended to openly discuss this matter in order to let those who were not members of the royal family know that there was no reason to be concerned about it. Catherine made the decision to keep a low profile and concentrate on her recovery after she underwent surgery. However, she was quick to return to her public life when she attended the Trooping the Color ceremony in June 2024, which was met with an overwhelming amount of support. In September, it was finally over, and she even shared an emotional video in which she reassured everyone that her treatment had come to an end. It was also the first time that the people had the opportunity to learn about the personal side of her, and they witnessed an intimate moment of her with her children. This was the moment that made the people feel compassion for her, and it was the moment that they realized that this was the queen they desired. In the will that was announced by Anne, there was a message that clarified the fact that Queen Elizabeth wanted Catherine to serve as the stabilizer so that she could use her influence and support William's future reign. This message was found even at the Balmoral Summit. This meant that Queen Elizabeth herself had acknowledged Catherine as the next queen who would lead this country and support William. Catherine received this recognition from Queen Elizabeth. The fact that the late queen was a very difficult person to understand is, the most crazy thing about it. The late queen saw a very warm glimpse of the qualities that once defined Princess Diana when she saw how good Catherine was with the people, how warm she was, how affectionate she was, and how much she thought about the people. She did not simply respect anyone, but she did respect everyone. One of the ways that Queen Elizabeth demonstrated her respect for Catherine was by presenting her with the family heirloom necklace and earrings. These historical necklaces and earrings were not just some expensive items, they were some of the most treasured items in the royal family. This gesture made it clear that Queen Elizabeth regarded Catherine as the potential successor to the position of queen consort. This was the decision that made everyone realize that Catherine is not someone who should be messed with, and this was a message that shook a lot of people, especially the queen consort who is currently in power. It is unfortunate that not everyone is as fortunate and as committed as Catherine is. There is a point in time when we have Camilla, who is despised by everyone, but the most significant error she made was that she got on Catherine's bad side. She mistrusted Catherine primarily due to the fact that she believed Catherine's history could be a barrier to her public image. She believed that Catherine could be a potential risk to her reputation. Camilla was deeply insecure, and if these insecurities were to be displayed in high-profile and traditional-bound families like the royal family, there was no way for Camilla to be respected. The thing is that Camilla was deeply insecure. However, her fears were justified because it is a well-known fact that Catherine has completely eclipsed Camilla in terms of her standing in the family. Considering everything, Catherine is regarded by many as more deserving of the title of queen than Camilla ever will be. It is possible that you are curious about the reason why the late queen mentioned Catherine as the next supporting figure in the will rather than Camilla, who is the person who should have been in charge of carrying out that responsibility. It is because Camilla's thought process only focuses on herself that this is the case. At the time of her passing, the queen was aware of how self-centered and immature she was. On the other hand, Catherine was the one who had a great deal of potential and a vision for the royal family that was in agreement with the late queen herself. It was her hope that the monarchy would become more dynamic and time-bound rather than monotonous, and she admired Catherine's ability to come up with novel approaches to improve the efficiency of the royal family. Consequently, what does this imply for Camilla's future trajectory? Or will she finally apologize for all of the wrongdoings she has committed against Catherine, such as the time she did not permit Catherine's family to be present at the coronation ceremony? Will she continue to act all grumpy and jealous towards Catherine, or will she finally apologize? The only people who were permitted to attend the ceremony from Catherine's side were a select few, despite the fact that she invited every member of her family personally. Now, what are the next steps? Who will emerge victorious? Are you the queen of the present or the queen of the future?